Hi, hello, and welcome to back to pack 4, stage 34 and stage 35. Yeah. So first off, ladies and gents, who made a boob? Right. Well, we did on this one, didn't we? So, right on here, you can see that the bars are on there and that they're on there. So we've got all the bars done. No problem at all. So, and if I was to say to you that them two in the center and them two in the center were actually wrong way around. So these actually belonged on that side actually belonged on that side. That's what fixed it. So your bars, you can see they're actually straight all the way along on this side and exactly the same on the other side. So they're straight all the way along. So okay, so I'm going to put this down for a minute because it is heavy. Oh dear. And then we'll have a look at this stage 34, stage 35. Stage 34, let's go to these. The instructions, come on, instructions, get up on the screen. So let's, we'll have to scroll through a little bit for stage 34 because we've done a lot on these stages. So where was we? Stage 34 was fitting the safety bars, and it is 34F and 34G on this chart that I actually got the wrong way around. So while I was spouting about getting them the right way around, hopefully you guys can now get them the right way around. Trial and error. That's exactly what I did. I took one side off and then I actually put the other side on, and it actually worked out perfectly. So that was my mistake, not anything wrong with the build. You can see there that they had CM screws put in, 34F and 34F down in the middle there, and then on the other side you had 34G and 34G on the other side, and I just had them wrong way around. So the center ones I had opposite way around, so it was a easy fix. And then the bar just went straight on, and then we did the fuel filler cap, as you know, and now we're now on to stage 35. So we're going to be doing the floor of the driver's cab and the handbrake. Okay, so yeah, we've got the floor of the driver's cab, we've got the side of the driver's cab, we've got the handbrake, and then we've got a switch, and we've got a little bracket and a little handbrake and two lots of screws, CM screws and MM screws. And as you can see in the photograph there, the handbrake has got a silver handle and a silver rod going down. So it doesn't actually have that on ours because it's all actually brown. So there's potential there for modding it with a silver pen or a bit of silver paint. So we'll just be putting the cab floor together, and we'll be putting a switch in, and then putting the little brackets on, and then putting the handbrake on, and then putting the handbrake on that side. Okay, and it should look like that from the underneath and that from the top. Okay, once we've done. Okay, let's go back to where I was, and we'll remove that from screen, and then hopefully you heard me through all that. So, and hopefully you heard my my introduction, and that I was actually wrong on putting 34 in the brackets for the rod that goes on each side of the bus. So even us professionals get it wrong at some times, and yeah, and I'll hold my hands up and say, yes, I got it wrong. But be prepared to say that, guys, because yeah, doing so many things at the moment, there's no wonder why I got it wrong. Right, in today's episode as well, I'm going to show you something rather special. I am actually going to show you the David Buckingham bass. that I have on my bus. And I'm going to show you the chassis that we've got at the moment sitting on the base a bit later on. But first, we're going to do the build on stage 35. Okay. And before that, we're going to introduce everybody in the chat. And there's got lots in the chat tonight as well. So thank you very much. D. Harris, evening again, Sir Dave. Evening. All right. And Darth DMC, evening all. Evening. And Yorkshire Crafter. Hello, Julie. Evening, everyone. And Dave McBill says a very good evening to all. Good luck with your build tonight, Sir Dave. Sir, thank you very much, sir. So, and Crafty Chris says, hi, everyone. Hello, darling. And Horlick says, well, good evening, Dave. Well, good evening, sir. And Dave McBill says, you make mistakes, so we don't have to. Yeah, something like that. So we're only human, aren't we? After all said and done. So D. Harris says, Yorkshire Crafter and Dave Mac and Crafty Chris, good evening. And then Max Mod says, good evening, everybody. Good evening, Mark. And D. Harris says, Horlicks, good evening. Yorkshire Crafter says, evening, D. Horlicks says, hey, D. Harris. And D. Harris says, at Max Mods, evening. And then David Bassett says, good evening, Sir Dave, sir. Good evening. There you are. And Dave McBill says, evening, Dave Harris, Yorkshire Crafter, Crafty Chris, and Max Mods, and Horlicks. And I'll just put my teeth back in. So Horlicks says, hi, David Bassett. Max Mods says, evening, D. Harris. Horlicks says, David Bassett. Max Mod says, evening, Dave McBills. D. Harris says, evening, David Bassett. Dave McBill says, evening, David Bassett. David Bassett says, evening, Horlicks, Crafty Chris, D. Harris, Yorkshire Crafter, Max Mods, Dave McBills. And Max Mod says, at David Bassett, evening. So David Bassett says, evening, Darth DMC. And Yorkshire Crafter says, evening, Dave Mac and David Bassett. Okay, right. Let me start that comment for a minute, if it will. I always have problems with the last one to start. There we go. Right, let's change cameras and let's crack on as best we can. We need to get on and get something done here. So let me change my camera, and then we'll go and see if we can get this issue 35 built. This stage 35. Come on, camera. I missed it again. There we go. So, okay, so on the bench here, I've actually got stage 35. And this is how it's laid out in parts. And you've got your cab floor, your cab side, your handbrake, and that lever there, and that bracket, and that switch, and the two lots of screws. We've got CM screws and MM screws, so I'll put them away in the pot. And I will try and organise my screwdrivers and organise my bits and pieces. I've got here, just out of shot, the Horlicks Mark II screw pots, so I'll pop them in there. I will when I can get in the bag. So, how is everybody this evening? You're obviously all right to be talking to one another and everything. That's jolly good. And saying hi to one another. I like a jolly good chat. It's difficult from our point of view when you're reading all these chats out, but we don't care really. It's good. It's good that you're all chatting to one another. And it's good that we have a nice knit community. It really does. So, okay. And put that on there. So CM screws and MM screws we've got in the screw pot. And that's just out of camera shot. Look at the top there. Okay. And we'll be putting that up there. So, right, I need the instructions. The instructions are on the download center in the Agora Models.com, the download center. You'll find them in there. And then if you want to find Agora, we'll find Agora by going on this ticker here. Agora Models.com, customer services at Agora Models.com. Agora Models, museum quality model kits, ROUTEMASTER RM857. This wonderful 1/12 scale model kit is available from Agora Models. So yeah, and that's how you found them, agoramodels.com on the net. Okay, so I'm going to leave that on for a second. and then flip back to comments. And we've got Horlick saying good evening to the uncommenters too. Yes, good evening to the uncommenters that are on this channel too, because there is 11 people watching at the moment. Yeah, possibly 12. Yeah. So, and then Dave McBell says I'm having a nice full glass of rum. Well, good on you, Dave. So I'm teetotal at the moment because obviously I want to be hand steady and everything for the build, and I want to try and keep a a sober head, as it was, because messing around with models and that, I don't want to do any different. So, but yeah, good on you. I could you could have sent me one as well for later on, but never mind. Actually, I have some rum. I have some rum and blackcurrant, and I am a bit partial to it, a rum and blackcurrant now and again. So, right, let's see what we can do about this then. So I've got the magazine as normally have, with stage 35 in it. So this is from the Hachette build, of course, and I'm using the Hachette instructions, and you can download the instructions from the Agora Models download center on their website. So it shows us already that the parts that we've just already said, and then it says from then on that we will be putting this all together. So stage one says that take the driver's cab floor 35A and the driver's cab left wall 35B with the parts orientated shown in the diagram. Align the two large screw holes on the left edge of part 35B with the holes on the lip of part 35A as indicated by the dotted lines. The located pegs on part 35B should fit into the corresponding sockets on part 35A, fix in place with 2 screws. And then there's a little red circle stating that the screws are easier to access and tighten if you use a screwdriver with a long shaft. Okay, so we've got to take this cab side and the cab floor, and we would fit it in that orientation like that, I would have said. Yeah. So we're going over in that orientation like that. And I think there's a little bracket in the way there that might stop it, but yeah, definitely on the inside. And there is like a little footrest there that it would go up against. Yeah. So, and there is a locating pin as well on there and on there. So we've got to get them 2 locating pins in. So we've got to get it aligned properly to get them locating pins in. So let's have a look on the back. Yeah, there's one, definitely. So what about the one at the front there? Surely that would be more difficult to get in because of the footrest. So yes, I see where it goes now. Okay, see where it goes. Is that going to go in there? No, because it's not lined up. Oh. Okay, not going that one for definite. Okay, and will it go in that one? So maybe with the push. Actually, it's not lined up. No, because it's on the footrest. Okay, let's try again. Try again is the key to success, I think. I've got a bit of weight on it. That's it. Okay, so let's try again. Let's have a look at these holes and see if we can get it lined up for definite. It's just a case of lining them up properly to where the holes are, and then sorry if I'm off camera, and then fasten it into the holes if we can. So there's one, and surely that must be the other one as well. Yep, I think he's going in there. I think he's going in. Yeah, it looks like it could be. Yeah. So what we've got to do now then is fasten it in with some screws. Okay, screws, long screwdriver, screws, and let's see if we can fasten this gadget in. Get in there. Okay. Yeah. it's going. It's going. Well, maybe I should have had a little bit of oil on these as well, but they are going in. So another screw at the back here. Locate it and then screw away. Yeah, what a day it's been. It's been a bit of an odd day again. It was supposed to be not raining today, but it actually rained a little bit when we was out a little bit, and yeah, not as good day as what it promised, really. But still, never mind. We managed. So get that in there, and like that. Okay. Yep. Super duper. That's in. It's nice and tight. Yep. It's gone down there well. So yes, indeed. Okay, so that's the driver's cab wall in, and it's actually got some writing on there, you can see. So my camera might not pick it up. It says on the left one side one, it says to stop the engine, pull the knob and push back the knob before starting. And then the other one says at the right hand side, it says to stop the engine, to stop engine in emergency, turn off fuel tap under bonnet. Yeah, and we have got a fuel tap under the bonnet as well, which is red, isn't it? So, oh goodness me, camera's gone. Come on, camera. Play ball now, please. There we go. Okay. Doesn't like this brown floor, does it? Right. So that is stage one, step one done. Step two says turn the floor and weld assembly so that you can see the underside of the floor. Take part 35D and fit it into the square socket on the underside of the floor. It will be fixed in place in step three. Okay. Well, that is this actually, guys. It's a little switch, and if you can, I don't know, you can, yeah, you can maybe hear that. So that's a little switch. So we've got to turn this over and we've got to pop it in the hole, which is shown there. Okay, and it's a little off center, is this, a little bit, so you'll have to work out which way it goes. So looking at the orientation, it actually goes that way. We'll see when it pops in there. So this is actually a little red herring, unfortunately, and that's because this switch doesn't actually do anything. I think it was going to do something before the build went into production, but I think they changed the demands. So anyway, it will fill a hole in the cab floor, and it'll actually look quite good in the cab floor as well. So it'll look like a dimmer switch for the headlights, perhaps, or a starter switch for the engine. So we've popped that in, and then it says on there, step 3 says still working on the underside of the floor. Take the support bracket 35E and fit it over the part 35D so that the holes on part 35E align with the raised screw sockets in part 35A on the either side of 35D, fixed in place with 2 cm screws. Okay, so let's get this in the right orientation, which is, I believe, that away like that. Okay, and I do believe it goes. Goodness me, get in there. It's got a locating tab, and the locating tab goes in one of them 2 holes, and that goes over there like that. And you would have a CM screw in there and a CM screw in there. Okay, so let's have them screws in, and then we can take it from there. So, do you remember doing these things? So, and those that have done this before. And yeah. So Dave McBill says we had a lovely sunshine here today, and I managed to get his grass cut this afternoon. Well, brilliant. I've got some more grass to cut if you want to come and cut mine too. So no, I'm joking. So, and Holic says, yeah, I could have got that switch to do something. I bet you could as well. Yes, absolutely. So, but this is like the unmodded version, because obviously this is going to be just the red ROUTEMASTER, standard red ROUTEMASTER. There will be a few small little things done on it, but for the most part, it'll be just a standard out the packet build. So we've got that switch in there, and it does still, hopefully, it still works. Okay, so that's the switch in. And so what's the next thing then? So the next thing is take the handbrake 35C and identify the fixing point to the cab floor 35A. Fix the pegs on the lower end of part 35C into the corresponding sockets. This is a push fit connection. Okay. I seem to remember we had a little bit of problem with this, and it was breaking off. And that's because these holes on the floor, they're very, very close to the cab side here. And I might not pick it up on this silly camera. It's doing a silly thing tonight, is this camera. So they are down there. Okay, they're very tiny. And I'm just going to put my scissor ends into the hole and see if I can actually get any bits of paint block out of it. Just to see if it'll fit a little bit better than what it did before. Let's have a look. So maybe a little bit more. Don't want to break my scissors in the hole, do I? Okay. So we've got the handbrake. You see, it's got a big hole. Sorry, big pin and a little pin, and there is a big hole and a little hole. And the last time I did this, I remember it broke off actually, so I had to super glue it in. So I've got it there, I've got it nipped, and I've got it over the holes exactly. I'm pushing very gently, and I'm hoping, for hope's sake, that it will go in. So it's actually in quite a long way, but what I'm going to do after the stream, I'm going to pop my square-headed screwdriver on there and just push it in. I've got like a blunt screwdriver that I use as a pusher, and I'm going to push it further into them holes, okay, when I'm off screen later on. But there it is, there's the handbrake in. And as I said, the handbrake, the handle and the lever that comes down here, can be made silver if you like. Just get either a silver Sharpie pen or a little bit of silver paint maybe. It's entirely up to you, or leave it brown as it may have been when it was new. Okay, so that's that one done. The next thing then on step 5 is we've got to put the engine stop control in, and 35F. So, and fit the 2 pegs into the corresponding socket on the driver's cab wall 35B. This is a push fit connection. Note, one of the pegs is larger to ensure you get the part 35F the right way around. Okay. So we have to now look on the cab side of the wall, and we've got it. Yes, I know which one's larger now. So the one nearest the handbrake is larger, and so I've got to have a look at my little engine stop push button and work out which one's larger on here. And they both look about the same, but yeah, perhaps the one where the handle's leaning back, it might be the largest pin. Yeah, could be. So it would make sense as well for pushing it on. Okay, so this is another push fit connection. I'm not sure how this went before. I can't remember. Anyway, we'll try. We'll see. See what it's like. It's beginning to enter in there. And I need my nails back again. Oh, it clicked into place. How's that? Yeah, it clicked in. And so hopefully, yeah, there we go. It's nicely in. So it just needs a little bit more pushing in. I think I can do it with my nail. Very nearly. Come on. Yeah, it's protesting, but we've got it in. So yeah, I need to push it in again with my blunt screwdriver, but it is 95% in there. Okay. So there we are. We've got the handbrake, we've got the engine stop control lever, we've got the side of the cab, we've got the little switch on the floor, and we've got the bracket underneath. And that's stage 35 complete. Okay, so that's nice and quick. And of course, later on for stage 36, we will be working more on the driver's cab, and we'll probably be doing the steering gear and the steering wheel, and that will obviously go through this hole here. Well, the steering wheel and the steering tube. So yeah, look out for that on the next one. So that'll be stage 36. So it's motoring along now, and so that means I've only got 4 or 5 stages to go before I finish this pack, which will be good because it'll give me more time to carry on hopefully with the blue one, because I want to get on with the blue one a little bit this month as well. So, but yeah, there we go, guys. That's stage 34 all done and dusted, and lovely it is too. Okay, so I'm going to move that out the way, and then I'm going to show you a little bit on what we've been doing with the David Buckingham base and then black blocks. Okay, let's have a look at the chassis, and then let's have it dragged across this way. You have to just give me a minute or two to organise myself. Let's have a look at the chat first as well. We'll bring that up, but I do need a little bit of space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this over. Oh, goodness me. So, and I want it in a position where you can actually see the 4 squares. So on the chassis, 1, 2, 3, 4, and hopefully you can see them there. Yeah, I think you can. There we are. If I move it that way, you can move the black blocks, and then that'll be. Then we can get them in the way. Okay, so there's the squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. The chassis at the moment is the right way up. Everything is the right way up on the chassis, and we've got the 4 black blocks. And what I'll do is I'll put them in place once I've been through the chat again, because I've noticed that there is quite a lot of chat. So I need 2 for that side, 2 for this side. Okay, let's have a look at the chat. Goodness me, there we are. Okay, so Dave McBill says that we had lovely sunshine here today. I managed to get the grass cut this afternoon. Yeah, I did read that one. I am reading things twice for some reason. Okay. Alex said he could have done with something with that switch. Yeah, I bet you could too. And David Bassett says, was damp and dismal in Aylesbury today, sadly. Oh dear. Yeah, damp and dismal. I don't like damp and dismal days. So Horlicks says, could have been attached to the soundboard saying Horlicks built this model on the 20th of the 5th, 2018, as a little Easter egg if anyone pushed it, laughing out loud. Yeah. Well, you could have done something like that, I suppose, yeah. We've got Alex Demetrius. It says, hi, Dave. Good build so far and very interesting. 2, why is this micro switch on the top left and cab floor? Yeah, we was just describing that, Alex. Thanks for joining us, by the way. We was just describing that, thinking, why was it there? And it was actually there on the first issues that actually came out in 2018. So, and we think that it was made for something that hasn't materialized. So we think it's made for something on the prototype, and it never got sorted out. So I think they just left the switch there just to fill a hole, really. And we called it a headlamp dipper switch, didn't we, or a engine starter switch, whatever. Okay, David Bassett says, nice quick issue, Dave. Yeah, nice quick issue. I've got 2 streams going tonight, so I need to be fairly quick. And then David Bassett says, have you weighed that chassis yet, Dave? Said, no, I haven't weighed it yet. I will do. I will weigh it. I'm not quite sure I'm going to weigh it now, though. I'm going to have to get the bathroom scales, I think, because I think it's too heavy now for our kitchen scales. So, yeah. Have to get the bathroom scales, I think. Them ones that shout out when you jump on them, them bathroom scales. Let me remove that banner a minute, and then we'll have these black blocks. I'll show you these black blocks. So those of us that bought this lovely model bus before received these black blocks in issue 34, and they're just black plastic blocks, and they're meant to actually go underneath the chassis in a certain way. And when you look at your chassis, you'll have 4 square blocks underneath the chassis, underneath there, but you can actually see them as well from on top. So the idea of these black blocks is that you place these. I hope you can see this as well. You place these that way around. So you put the black block on there, and you can move that. So the step down bit is on the outside, and you'd put that on that one. So we've got 2 there, haven't we? And then we'll move that one first, I think. So I'll lift the front, and we've got 1 there. Okay, and then we've got 1 here at the front when I lift it up again. So, and as you can imagine, at the moment, it's actually quite easy to manipulate this chassis to get them all lined up properly, to get your bus lined up off the ground. And what I'm going to do in a minute is, when I've got it stable, yeah, it's nice and stable, you see. That's really nice and stable. And it means that the wheels are about 1/2 inch off the ground. Yeah, you can't actually see that at the moment. So what I'm going to try and do is drop my camera. And I don't know how much light we're going to be able to project in here, but I'll try and do it as best I can. So we've got 1/2 inch or thereabouts. Maybe not quite 1/2 inch. They're off the ground about 1/2 inch. So, and that obviously makes it easier to turn your wheels, and it keeps the weight off the suspension, and it keeps the weight off the tires, because at the end of the day, the tires are going to be the most vulnerable part of this model. So it keeps it nice and stable too, and yeah, that's all well and good, but it is difficult. It's very difficult placing your model when it's got the bodywork on and everything. It's difficult placing your model on them blocks if you've not got them blocks fixed in place permanently. Now you could glue them to the underneath of the chassis, but then you've got these permanent black blocks glued to the underneath of your chassis, and it's not really practical that they should be glued to the underneath of the chassis. Besides that, the chassis is metal, these are plastic. What are you going to use to glue them with? You know, is it going to be satisfactory? Are they going to stay there? Are they going to be, you know, very strong, solid, sound foundation for your bus, which weighs approximately 14 kilograms in weight, which is darn heavy. Okay, so, and you don't want it slipping or falling or anything like that. So to cut a long story short, when we was doing this bus in 2018, a lovely fella that we met on the channel was David Buckingham. And David Buckingham is a lovely fella. He does an awful lot with woodwork, and he's a very skilled craftsman. And he said, I've got a solution for this if you want it. He said, I could make some. He said, I'm doing the bus itself. And he said, I could build you a base. And he said, I could put blocks in them black blocks of solid hardwood that you just slide the black blocks over on all 4 of them. He said they'd be permanently in the right place for the bus, and all you would have to do then is lift the bus on or off to the base. So we actually took him up on his offer, and there was quite a few of us at the time. Horlicks, I know, got one, and Penny got one, and there were several others people that got these bases, and they were a brilliant idea, absolutely brilliant idea. And they served 2 purposes really. They served the purpose of keeping the bus off the ground, which is what you want, and they also served the purpose of making it a little bit easier to move your bus from place to place and to display it properly as well, with it being on a base. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to actually remove this chassis and put the David Buckingham base down here. I know it's a little bit difficult for you to see, and that's upside down, so I will try and turn it the right way around, and try and see if I can get you the proper way around to actually see. So hopefully that's the right way around, but I don't know how far I'm going to have to go back now. So, and we are going to do a bit of a shuffling round, so you'll have to just bear with me just a minute while I get somewhere to put this chassis that's going to be safe. Okay, so I'm going to actually take it off the table. I'm going to put it on my little stool that's at the side of me, and then I'm going to pick up the David Buckingham base, and I'm going to remove these black blocks, which are the standard black blocks, and I'm going to show you the David Buckingham base. Okay, so it's rather difficult because I haven't got a lot of room here, and you'll see why in a minute. This is the David Buckingham base, but basically, if I lift the camera up now, you can see now that the 4 black blocks have been placed on the base. They're actually over blocks of wood, so they fit really snugly over blocks of hardwood like that. Okay, you see one there. Okay, that's nice and tight. There's one there, and that's nice and tight. And you see one there, and that's nice and tight too. So them blocks of wood are screwed through the bottom of the base, and I'll show you the bottom of the base, and you can see that the screws that's holding it, oh, he does sound it by the way as well. He sounds everything that he makes, which is rather nice. In fact, it's really nice. So yeah, you can see that he screwed them on for just one screw through each black block on the base. You can see how he's made the base sides with the wood like this, and then he's beveled the wood edges on here, so it's got a nice bevel on it too. And this surface, I mean, this is quite a rough one really. I've done nothing with this one at all, but this surface can be painted with some wax. You know, it can be waxed and everything, so it's got a nice shine and a nice wood grain to it as well. And you can do all sorts with this base. Horlicks, he's put a roadway on it, which is just some roofing felt, which is put on, and it's made it into like a road surface. And then Steve Owen's actually put mirror tiles, plastic mirror tiles on all the way down, and then he's put some little lights in here, this sides of the black blocks, and he has a control switch from underneath with a set of batteries, and it can actually light up the underside of the bus, and you can actually see it as well. You can see the underside of the bus in the reflection of the mirror on the base, and it's quite solid wood as well. So, and it's, you know, fairly nice. It actually is a little bit longer than the bus, both the front and the back. I'm having to be really careful here. So yeah, and it's about 9 or so inches that way, and it's about 30 or so inches length. So without giving too much away how he's done this, because obviously he is a master craftsman when he's been doing this. So how else can I display this board to you then, guys? Well, I can actually put one of my buses on it, and I can show you one of my buses on it. So that's what I'm going to do. It's going to be a little bit difficult being with the camera and everything, and I'm just debating on which way to go with it with the camera. So yeah, it's going to be, as I said, a tad difficult, but we'll try popping my bus on there, and one of my buses, and you'll see how well it goes. So I'm going to move the camera back and down again, because I don't want you to see what I'm doing right now, but I want you to see what I'm doing when I get the bus on the base. Okay. So the bus is right here beside me. Oh, goodness me. Okay, and I'm going to pop it on now. So I'm just looking for the locating of getting it on the base. And hopefully I've got it right way around first time. So there we go. Okay. So there we go. Right. Okay. Don't know how this is going to go, but this is my bus, my pride and joy on the David Buckingham base. Okay. Okay. So hopefully you can see this. This is my East Yorkshire bus. So it's obviously my heavily modified bus that we've got on the David Buckingham base. You can see that I can actually lift the whole thing up. Yeah, can lift it up and swivel it around, and it's quite stable as well once you've got it on there. So, and that you don't actually touch the bus when you're lifting it up as well. You don't actually touch either the front or the back of the bus when you're lifting it up. So that's nice and handy. And for a display point of view, it doesn't look good. I'm just trying to get my camera to go back a little bit, and then you can see what the display is like. Okay, rather difficult because obviously these are they're nearly 30 inches long, these buses, as you know, and they are very heavy. So from a display point of view, you know, you've got room around each of the corners, each of the front and the back. So so you can put things up to that wood, obviously, and not touch your bus, which is rather good. As I said, you can put mirror tiles underneath, and if you watch Horlicks's recent stream on his bus, he's actually put a modification in there, a modification from Partwork Upgrades, which you can purchase separately from Partwork Upgrades from Ian Campbell. And Horlicks has done it professionally, and he's put the modification in from Partwork Upgrades, making it plug in and play. So then he's actually modified it again to put separate switches on his board. Okay, so you can turn on and off separate things on his bus. You can turn on the inside lights, the outside lights, the driver's cab light, you know, and things like that. It can do from switches on his board, because he's actually put wires from the inside of the bus through the board, through a connector, and into some switches. So we will be covering all these things a little bit later on, but for now I just wanted to show you how the chassis fits on a David Buckingham base. So I'm going to remove this bus and man from here, put it to the side here, and then I'm going to put the chassis back on there so that you guys can actually see the chassis on there now. Okay. Right. This is not easy. So I'm rather hoping that you're actually loving this demonstration. So there we go. So let's put that on there. And how easy was that, guys? We just picked it up, put it on. There's the chassis that we built earlier. It's all on the David Buckingham base. We can pick it up nice and easy. It's not going to go anywhere. You know, we can check it around, and yeah, it's safe as houses. And yeah, as I said, getting it on them black blocks when they're just loosely in position somewhere, how on earth are you going to be able to see them to get your bus on top of them nice and even without it falling off one side, or you know, whatever? You can see problems there, can't you? So hopefully I've demonstrated this enough for you to realize that you're going to need something like this for your bus build. Now then, David Buckingham has said to me that he was willing to make some. He's willing to make a limited number, and the limited number would be about 16 of them. and he would need assurances that you would actually need them. The prices are yet to determine, and that is because of the price of the wood. He has to get the wood. He's a retired gentleman, and he does this as just a hobby, but he would need recompensing for the materials. So, and then the postage, obviously. So he does live in England, by the way, and he's willing to post out to England. I'm not sure about whether he's willing to post out abroad or anything, but definitely England. So, and can assure you that these would be freshly made, and they would all be made to the exact specifications as this one. So you'd be able to get the exact type as this one, okay, if you needed one. And as I say, he is willing to make about 16, depending on who wants one. So you would need to contact me directly in the first instance, and then I can then pass your name on to David Buckingham. David Buckingham is actually a member in our ROUTEMASTER group, and if you want to get in touch with him personally from our ROUTEMASTER group, you can do. And our ROUTEMASTER group is in the ticker tape that's going across the bottom now. So, but I would strongly suggest that you obviously private message him if you wish, and make it known that you was willing to take one of these on board, depending on price, whatever's, depending on if he could get enough orders to actually make some. He's thinking about making 16, because that's the amount of wood that he buys at this one particular time. And but he would think about making more if there was a few more, but it's not guaranteed. So, but he has told me, as the gentleman, that he wants to make a difference to the Agora bus now. Now it's out, and then obviously it will do. So take advantage, guys. If you missed out last time, get your order in with David Buckingham. If you've never seen this before and you like it, yeah, and you want to make something like this yourself, you can do, but we can't give you away any secrets, especially of David Buckingham's measurements or anything. You have to do that for yourself, because obviously David Buckingham did all this himself. So, and I can assure you that it's not a money-making exercise. It is a retired elderly gentleman that is willing to help the community by making these bases, especially for your bus. So hopefully that's seen to that, and hopefully you like that little demonstration. So I'm going to come back to the chat now. Whew. And I'm sweating a little bit, as you can appreciate, so because it's not the easiest thing to do. So right, okay. David Bassett says, my bathroom scale just shout ouch. Yeah, I think mine do as well. So, and then D Harris says that Horlicks is that an electrical challenge you've set yourself? Yeah, I bet it is too. So Horlicks says, haha, D Harris, a bit late now. It's impossible to get back to that switch to install it. Yeah, it certainly is. And then Horlicks says, must say I'm very impressed with the wiring from last stage. Very neat, and it pleases my mind. Yes, absolutely, sir. Yeah, jolly good, thank you. And D Harris says, Horlicks, the king of wire tidy, must say it is neat. Yes, absolutely. I'm blushing now. Thank you. So, and oh goodness me, where's the chat gone now? Come on, there we are. So Dave McBill says, looks stunning, Dave. They were the best buses in service at the time. Yeah, there definitely was. So, and then David Bassett said, if you end up with the David Buckingham base, you will learn a very nice item. It's in its own right, as it's seen on the underside. They are made in Ivor Heath, Buckinghamshire. Yes, they are. Yeah, they are indeed. So, and David Bassett said, David Buckingham is a retired skilled set builder who worked at Pinewood Studios, also in Ivor Heath, and he worked on several James Bond film sets over the years. Yes, he did indeed. And David Buckingham says, I actually met him when he built my base because he actually brought my base up to Aylesbury. Yeah, what a gentleman he was too. And Holic says, amazing that David Bassett. Yes, I would be totally lost without my base. 200% recommended for all the builders out there. You will not regret it. Okay, and here is the man himself. Lucas 1945, David Buckingham says, thank you, Dave. I have sent them abroad. Oh, you sent them abroad too. Okay, that's fine. Jolly good. So if you are abroad, he is willing to send them abroad too. So there we go. So, and I hope you've liked, obviously, my simulation of your board, David, as best I can at the moment with my camera and lighting setup, and hope it shows it off to its best potential. Okay. So, and Holic says, hey, Lucas 1945. So you're getting some attention there, David. Okay. Right. I'm gonna quickly now hopefully end the show. I'm going to come out of the chat, and I haven't got a lot of room on this table to be messing around. So, I'm going to try and get back to my screen and my camera. If you could see me messing around with a little bit of 2-inch of my desk here to actually maneuver my mouse. So there we go. So, right. Okay. So hopefully you've got some idea now of how the base goes, how the bus goes on a base, and how that these little black blocks aren't on their own. They aren't very good, not for keeping your bus as stable as it should be, really. So there is several other options that you can use, of course, and that's entirely up to you. But this is the option I use, and I've never had any problem whatsoever. David actually did. He actually did email me the other day, and he said, "Do I actually transport them, my buses, to shows on his base in my trailer?" Well, no, I don't transport them in my trailer. I do transport them in the car. We have a fairly big car. It's like an estate car, and then so of course we can get them in the back on the base, and they sit there on the base all nice and hunky-dory. All we do is we just pack some very light things in between them, so that if we do happen to go around a corner or anything rather sharp, then there's something there to cushion the blows, if you wish. So it's like rolled up towels and such like we put in between them so that they can't harm one another, and that nothing's come to any harm. We've had them out to 3 shows, I think it is, and we've not had one scratch on one of the buses at all. So they're absolutely perfect for that as well. Okay. I did experiment taking them off the board, putting them on the cat flat, and then getting some little chocks under the wheels and what have you, and rolling up some towels to the fronts of them, so they're butted up like against the seats at the back, and then some rolled up towels around them. And but it's just as good if they're on the David Buckingham base. They really are. So David Bassett says, Lucas 1945, evening, David. Lovely to see you on here. Yes, it is indeed. And D. Harris says, I'll see you soon, Dave, for the next one. Okay, thank you. Yeah, because I'm on again about, I think it's half an hour's time or something like that, 3/4 of an hour's time, but I'm going to have to get set up. So, and Lucas 1945 says, thank you. I've done worry well. Hi, Horlicks. Yeah, no problem. That's okay. Thank you, David. And then Crafty Chris says, hi, Lucas 1945. And of course, that's my good lady wife. Okay. So let me do a check now and see where we're going to. So I'm going to put our banner back on, put the Agora banner back on. So if you're wanting an Agora bus, an Agora model to do of your own, please get in touch with these guys here, agoramodels.com, and they will obviously see to your every need on your ROUTEMASTER. So they have a special offer on at the moment. They have 4 packs, a starter pack, so that's like an accelerated pack. So they do 4 packs in one, and they've got a nice offer on there at the moment for them 4 packs. So that's 40 issues. Yeah, goodness me. So an accelerated pack. So, and as I said, that is on special offer at the moment. They have a 12-month scheme. They have a 24-month scheme. So you can either choose 12 months or 24 months, depending on which you can budget for. And they have lots of other museum quality models as well. So please visit their website on agoramodels.com. And I think that's about it that I've got to say tonight on this subject. Yeah, Lucas 1945 says hi, Christine. Okay, and all I'm going to do now is find my brand. Where's my brand gone? And I'm going to sign off, and I'm going to say thank you ever so much for watching tonight. I hope you found it interesting, and I hope you found some interesting content in here and some helpful and useful things that we can sort out for our bus. So, and hopefully there'll be a bit bigger showing on these bases and the electrics a bit later on, because obviously we're going to need to move these buses backwards and forwards as it was, to get them on the table, off the table, blah blah blah, where you're going to display them, of course, and all the rest of it. And so there will be other opportunities to see the base and to see the electrics and to see the other things that's been specially made for it through other companies as well, such as Parkwork Upgrades and Model Mods, etc., and several other companies. So there's lots of companies that's doing nice little mods for these now. So, and we will be showcasing them if we can. Okay. All right. So, goodness me, some more chat. Oh, goodness me, my mouse is sticking. I haven't got a lot of room to move it. Come on, mouse. It's stuck. So, come on. Where is my mouse? Dave Matt says that great stream, Dave. Well done, thank you. And David Bassett says like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, thank you very much if you would. And Dave D Harris says that see you soon. Yeah, thank you. And Yorkshire Crafter says thank you everyone for joining Dave tonight. Says Crafter Chris. And come on, mouse. And Yorkshire Crafter says, great show, Dave. Thank you. Thank you ever so much, Julie. And thank you ever so much, Chris, as well. So my mouse is sticking like I don't know what. Let's put it on the David Buckingham base. There it goes, you see. It goes, no problem. So, and David Bassett says, see you in a little while. Well done, Dave. Really good showcase for David Buckingham bases. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to leave you. And I'm going to say good night, God bless, take care, and hopefully you'll join me on the next one. Well, we'll be doing this bus behind me. Goodness me. This bus behind me, we'll be doing the unbuild again, where hopefully we can get the roof section off and we can start stripping it down to where we need it to be. So, yeah, hopefully that'll work out. So we're going to be doing that next. And so in about half an hour's time or so, 3/4 of an hour perhaps. So just give me a time for a bit of a rest. Okay. So for now, I'm going to say goodbye, good night, God bless, take care, and I will see you soon.